Hi, and welcome to Precis Insights. I am Simone, and today I have with me Dag-Yero, Client Director at the Copenhagen office. And we just recently had a chat about customer acquisition, and especially for e-commerce brands that have this kind of relentless focus on new customer acquisition. Why is that?
I think what we've seen, especially over the last couple of years, post-COVID, if you like, e-commerce brands tend to talk more and more about getting new customers. How many new customers did we get? How many haven't shopped with us before? How many new people have we introduced our brand to? And that's all great. It's all, ways of growing your brand. It's way of securing future customer lifetime value. Essentially all things that should be good for business. I think the reason that we bring it up as sort of a worry or something that we've observed and aren't just applauding all the way is because we also see that it takes away focus from other important strategies, especially like retention, for example. So assuming that you always go after the next new customer, you'll be focusing ever so slightly less on maintaining the relationship with your existing customer, and that could come at a cost.
But the other thing about cost, though, is us being a marketing agency, we want them to spend a lot more money on media, you would think, right? But so because that's part of the chat that we had before, as a media agency, what kind of responsibility do we have for them and the kind of spend that they put in one place versus maybe diversifying that spend?
On the base, a media agency would always say, great, if someone comes and say, hey, let's spend more to get extra customers. But the slightly more responsible approach would be to say, hey, what kind of problem are you trying to solve by getting new customers? Is it because you're losing your existing ones? Is it because you have a new offer to market? Is it because you have a new value proposition against your competition? Whatever it is, we would like to take that into consideration. And then if we go for new customers and we increase our customer acquisition cost in the process, we need to be very mindful of how we might otherwise have spent that money or what other parts of the business, perhaps in the retention game, could have used that investment to improve the overall value.
So what should brands do instead?
They should perhaps go a little bit more slow and a little bit more planned, not necessarily go slow when it comes to growth or go slow when it comes to new strategies, but think a little bit about what they're actually trying to solve. Instead of becoming super focused on new customer acquisition alone, think about what problem that represents. Is it because our value proposition is weak, meaning people don't stay with us for too long? Is it because we're talking to the same audience over and over again? Should new customer acquisition mean new channels and new communication? Are there other things that we should do at the same time, perhaps to effectivize and perhaps even also cut down on our customer acquisition costs and not just pile on top?
Loyalty programs,
referral programs, other organic combination strategies, influencers, what have you, all the things that brands aren't doing today that perhaps seem a little bit difficult, that seem a little bit like too much extra effort, but that, if you're lucky, actually improves your overall media strategy and doesn't negatively impact CAC in the same way that just increasing your meta budget by 50% would.
So diversify channels and tactics instead and focus not only on acquisition, but also on retention.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Thank you.